Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Burns, please.
Mr. Congdon.
Here.
Ms. Boyle.
Here.
Mr. Feather. Here. Ms. Hollenbach. Present. Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Parentano. Here. Mr. Rudy.
Here.
Mr. Santa.
Here.
Mr. Sullivan. Here. Quorum is present.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This evening, the board met in executive session prior to this meeting to discuss matters of employment, issue related to labor relations, and the purchase or lease of real estate property. Mrs. Burns, do we have any announcements tonight?
No announcements.
No announcements. Superintendent's report. Mr. Jones, please.
Good evening, everyone. I want to point out that our strategic plan that was approved at the January meeting is unfolding in terms of our efforts to now implement what we have in our strategic plan. We will have signage that's going to be around all buildings so that people see the new mission, that they see the district and the belief statements where they are in our buildings and classrooms and office space. That's going to be important. There's a brochure that we're going to have printed. You'll all get a copy, obviously, here on the board, but more importantly, we'll have it available in buildings as administrators and lead teachers are interacting with the community. We'll be able to share that document, and most importantly, anybody can get to it by going onto our website. Right on the first drop-down about our district, the strategic plan is there, and all that information is available. So finally, I guess I should point out that the strategic plan advertisement that we did in terms of notifying the community that we have a new strategic plan, also we asked for people to get involved in the implementation aspect of that. We have 3 implementation teams associated with the 3 strands of the plan. And when we put that announcement out, we have about 60 individuals across the district who are interested, 30 community members, approximately 30 in-house people. And so they're going to begin work. We're going to get word out to them about a kickoff meeting, probably early March is my guess. I want to point out that we continue on the musical front. We had a nice high school production, but we now move over to the middle school, and in each of the middle schools, you have Legally Blonde Junior at Pequesson Middle School, February 22nd, 3rd, and 4th, and if you want to catch a matinee, February 25th. Mulan Junior at Maple Point, same dates, 22, 3, and 4, with a matinee on the 25th. And then Madagascar Junior at Sandburg Middle School, March 8th, 9th, and 10th, with a matinee on the 11th. So we wish all our student performers good luck as they continue preparing for those productions. They're exciting times. Gym night as well. I've heard a lot about it. I get to experience it, and any of you who are interested, hopefully you can get tickets. Dr. McGee speaks to how there's just a heavy increase in the number of student participants, such so that public sale of the tickets actually is off on the wayside right now. So he's making sure that the students and their guests will be able to get in the building and participate and enjoy, but he is worried a little bit about overall ticket sales. So he has put a notice out to the community. I saw that recently.
Need a bigger gym.
We need a bigger gym. Congratulations at the high school. We did have a real nice ceremony for 10 seniors who signed letters of intent to go to college and have some of their college tuition offset because of the fact that they're strong athletes. And so we congratulate them. Back on Friday, February 3, we had the signing of their letters of intent. And that was a nice affair where family were able to come out, and it was done right there in the hub at the high school, and it's a very nice setting, very positive event. The new artwork here in our room, remember every month we change, and so this month, Furtabar Elementary School, under the guidance of Gail Gerton, is kind of displaying a common theme from all the grades. It's a weaving initiative, and so you can see how the students in the different grades tackled that challenge under her direction, and we're really impressed with the work, and that'll be part of the online display of all the student work that has been here in the boardroom throughout the course of this year. Each month, we have a new school. New logos are available, kind of in concert with our new strategic plan. We thought we also wanted to kind of just identify the brand cleanly, and so we have a new N that we've rolled out to all of our principals. It looks very much the same, but there's a lot of different variations as you move around the school buildings, and so we wanted to standardize the color and the look, and we also add it to the logo with the names of the schools right across the end so that everybody shares the same N, but they all look a little distinct in terms of how they actually are laid out in terms of the inside of the N having the name of the school. And the elementary schools really look special because they each have their mascot peeking around the side of the N. And so they're going to also appear on new letterhead for each of the school buildings. We want people to be able to identify that N, see that N, know it's Neshaminy, and also know what Neshaminy stands for above and beyond just the simple N, which is all those good things built into our mission statement and what are all part of the strategic plan initiative. So you'll see that as you move around the schools. There was some good budget information from Harrisburg in the sense that even though the state is on some tougher times, there is a small increase on the education side, 1.7%. Basic education funding, special ed's up a little bit. Preschool, there's more money that will be coming towards preschool education as well. Transportation looks like it might actually take a hit in the negative direction from the state aid to school districts, and so we will factor all those new numbers into our budget work as we continue to do the work in-house for Neshaminy. The Giza 3 project that we've talked about here in these public meetings will be on the agenda. It's part of the agenda for our next public meeting, and our representatives from Reynolds will be at that meeting to present, answer any final questions that you have before that vote. So there is no formal presentation this evening. The only other final thing I want to say is that the National Federation of Teachers, our Teachers Association, organized a day of service just this last Saturday. I'd like to compliment and commend them on the efforts where they put together 300 bags of soup to donate. This is a soup mix that you could make a soup. They donated that to Neshaminy families via the Second Helping Food Bank. In the process, collected $1,600 as part of the membership donation towards that effort, and spent a few hours this last Saturday assembling and putting that together and donating. A lot of good service projects all around in all of our schools. That's a nice one from the adults in our organization. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Under additional reports here, we have the semi-annual report. Are we?
That's just a report for the board, update to the board. It's also available to the public, but each of the central office administrators provides one each provides one twice a year, so there's one every month for us. And it happens to be the Director of Human Resources, Mrs. Hinterberger's report this month.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Okay, we have no presentations this evening, so at this point in time, we're going to move to public comment. Mrs. Burns, please.
No public comment.
No public comment. Okay.
Relax.
Okay. Tonight, we have 3 resolutions that we're going to be doing. The first one being the preliminary budget. Whereas in accordance with Act 1, of 2006, the Board of School Directors has received a proposed preliminary budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. And whereas the proposed preliminary budget was made available for public inspection on the PDE 2028 effective January 25th, 2017, and whereas in order to further comply with Act 1, the preliminary budget must be adopted by the School Board of Directors on or before February 15th, 2017. And whereas Act 1 further provides for referendum exemptions, which must be submitted to and approved by the Pennsylvania Department of Education on or before March 2nd, 2017, now therefore be it resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby adopts the 2017-2018 preliminary budget in accordance with Act 1 of 2006, and it shall be made available for public inspection as required by law. Be it further resolved that the school district shall apply to the Pennsylvania Department of Education for exceptions specified under Act 1 as per the attached summary. Can I get a second, please? Second. Ms. Hollenbeck, with a second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Be it there none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 9-0. Agreement with School Operation Services Group Incorporated. Whereas the Neshaminy School District is entering into an agreement with School Operations Services Group Incorporated for the employment of substitute cleaners, now therefore be it resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves the substitute cleaner agreement with School Operations Services Group Incorporated in the form attached, subject to such modifications approved by the Solicitor and Superintendent of Schools. Be it further resolved that the Business Administrator be authorized to execute a final agreement. Can I get a second, please? Mr. Sullivan, with a second, thank you. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Be it there none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 9-0. And the third resolution this evening is for Sunday facility usage. Whereas according to Board Policy Number 800, facilities fields may not be scheduled on Sundays without school board approval. Now therefore be it resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves the facility usage for SAT Boot Camp for Neshaminy High School, Black Box Theater or Library, Sunday, February 26th, 2017. Can I get a second, please? Mr. Parentano, thank you for the second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Be it there none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 9-0. Items for approval at our next public board meeting, which will be 2 weeks from tonight in the same room. We have overnight trips, the BCIU number 22, 2017, 2018 programs and services and instructional materials and research services budget. Guaranteed Energy Savings Act, as Joe had mentioned earlier. Policy 554 hazing, summer programs for 2017, the proposal. Athletic trainer agreement, confidential statement agreement, bid approvals, and budget transfers. Does anybody have any questions on those for our next meeting? Okay, be it there none, we'll be ready to work on that at our next public board meeting. Now we're going to move to our committee reports. Business operations, Ms. Hollenbeck, please.
We have no meetings scheduled for February or March. The next meeting is April 11th, I believe, for the budget. But we are looking to schedule a meeting to just go over the buildings and stuff. So as that comes up, I will have more information for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hollenbeck. Educational development, Ms. Boyle, and you might as well continue right on with policy, please.
The next educational development meeting is going to be February 23rd, and we're going to discuss the summer school program, the math PQR, and the academic enhancement program. The policy committee is going to be the next one will be scheduled for April 25th, and the agenda has not been published as of yet. And the IU meeting will be February 21st. That's 7 o'clock in Doylestown.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. We moved right into our representative reports, so we're going to go to 5.02, Neshaminy Education Foundation. Mr. Feather, please.
No updates at this point.
Thank you. The PSBA liaison, Mr. Parentano.
Thank you, Mr. Condon. Currently, the PSBA is actively involved in all the issues surrounding education in the state, but primarily right now the budget at the state level is taking precedent. There is going to be a town hall meeting for school board members February 27th at the Middle Bucks Institute of Technology. Starting at 6 o'clock. You do have to call and reserve if you want to attend. I'm trying to free up my schedule so I can be there. Topics of discussion will center around the governor's budget proposal and how it's going to impact the individual districts. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for trying to get to that as well. Thank you very much. This time, the technical school, Mr. Rudy, please.
Yeah, we had our school board recognition dinner on January 20th. It was very well attended. I think the kids did a great job. I think everyone here will attest to that it showed up. We had, I think, 7 board members there. So afterwards, we had a brief regular meeting, nothing substantial. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy. And I did attend that, and once again, they've been canceled by snow the previous years, but the Textile put on a wonderful, wonderful dinner. Food was outstanding. Outstanding job by all. At this time, we're going to move to the closing of the meeting portion of the agenda. We're going to go to public comment. Please, if you have public comment, please approach the podium, state your name, area you reside, your profession, and please no personal attacks. We limit it to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. John McGinley, President of the Support Staff Association of the Neshaminy School District. I have a quick question about item number 202, the agreement with School Operations Services Group. What, if any, impact does this have with the future of Source for Teachers with the school district is my first question. And secondly, it says it is a contract for substitute cleaners. Yet on page 7 of the attached contract, there is a pay schedule for substitute cleaners, substitute paraprofessionals, substitute food service workers, and substitute clerical employees. Can we get clarification? Is this a cleaning company only, or is this a full-service substitute provider? Thank you.
Both. I'll answer both for you. They're easy. Well, I'm gonna forget your first, but only because we do need to correct the cleaner part. We want it to be as broad as what the attached document includes, though the real emphasis is on the cleaner component of that. In terms of the future of Source for Teacher, which was your first part of your question, we know that we want to do better by our system. For our kids and for the adults that are working here, and so this is an effort for us to try to do better in terms of getting all positions manned. Source for Teachers has been doing some stronger work for us on the teacher front. We're hoping that they can increase and do better on the custodial side, but until they do, this provides us just a system to augment whatever they can't fill.
May I ask a follow-up?
Sure.
Since Steve's not here. Does that mean we're now bringing in a second substitute provider for the time being?
Yes.
With another one being phased out eventually, or
No,
we're just
doesn't mean
bringing
any of
on
that.
another substitute
This
provider?
is a short-term patchwork effort.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice. All right. Thank you to the public. Does anybody have any future topics they'd like to bring up? No future topics? Okay. We're going to move on to board comment. Any board comment? Mr. Parentano, please.
Thank you, Mr. Condon. I just want to bring to everyone's attention and reemphasize with my fellow board members as, tonight we approved a preliminary budget. And of course, like many years before, the budget is the wish list, not where we're going to be in June. Right, Mr. Jones? Thank you. But Mr. Jones has mentioned earlier in his remarks, there is some good news from the state about a small increase finally in some basic education funding. Unfortunately, in some areas they pulled back a little bit. So where we're going to end up, I'm not sure, but it looks like Neshaminy will get some extra dollars. But the real issue, and the issue that I want to make sure everyone, both in the public and the board, keeps in mind is the pension issue. The pension issue is out of control. There is nothing in the state's proposed budget to deal with the pension issue. And, I've stated many times before, to put it in perspective, in 2010, we were paying 5.65% of payroll. And I think there's a new increase. It was 34%, but what is the new, Mrs. Markowitz, could you address what the new markup is for 2020?
2021 is 35.95%.
35.9%. So it's growing. We do get a 50% reimbursement from the state, but we're still talking about we're paying 500%, if not more, in actual dollar value. I have some of the old numbers here, and Mrs. Markowitz can verify. She wants to look at her little cheat sheet there, but our payroll in 2015 was approximately $76 million. At that time, we were paying 25% for a total of $19,700,000. This year, our payroll is estimated at about $81 million at 32%, but that's an old number. It's been increased from there.
That's 81 million to 1718.
I'm sorry, $78 million. And what was the number for this year?
I know it's 30.03%
30?
now. I think it was supposed to be 29. I don't remember
Right.
the exact figure.
And next year's 32, right?
Yeah, 32.57.
Right. So this year, we're estimating about $23 million just for pension. Next year, we're estimating $26 million for pension. So without some real change at the state system, if we want to maintain the type of education we offer here in Neshaminy, we're going to have to be really serious about how we're going to develop these budgets going forward. And I would think for our size, a lot of people think, we're big for our size, our budget. Our budget this year is approximately $178 million. For this year, we have 8,579 students currently in our schools. Total of 8,971 when you add in the tech school and the alternative schools that we support, about 20 different alternative schools. Our budget's $178 million. By comparison, Lower Marion, which is 8,400 students, their budget is $264 million. Now, I'm not saying that, more money buys better education, and I certainly can't justify, or would to, how their budget is almost $70 million, over $70 million more than ours. But they're generally recognized as in the top 10 in the entire state. Neshaminy is doing well. We're doing better. We've increased programs. Our student outcomes are going up. If you want to go by ratings, I think 3-4 years ago we were like 250 rated. Now we're in like the top 80 in Pennsylvania. Neshaminy provides an excellent education, and just goes to show you, how far we stretch dollars here. So the pension issue is going to make everything difficult, and I just want the public and this board to keep that in mind as we move forward to reaching a budget that supports our students and, of course, supports our taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Everybody good? All right. Once again, I'd like to say congratulations to the tech school students that provided that meal for the school boards of all the districts that attend the Bucks County Tech School. Once again, it was fabulous. It's a really good dinner. I don't want to say better than what I get at home, but I might get in trouble. But it was a really good meal. I'm already in trouble for being here on Valentine's Day. But I'd like to thank everyone for the public to come out tonight, and also for having a complete board this evening. It's nice to see everyone here. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second, please? Second. Mr. Feather with a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone, and good night.